So we'll go with that, man.
Cool. And I guess we met through the men's prayer line and the men's retreat. So you went this year. I wasn't able to make it, but what was that experience like?
Man, so this year was super dope as well because we got to be higher up in the mountain. So it was this time we were in Sayreville.
Mm,
So from the Nashville airport, and it said about 3.5 hours, right? So
mm,
we were definitely up there in the mountain. And man, I was driving up at night with Brian Taylor, and
mm.
some of them roads, man, were so windy. So it was definitely a little sketch driving up, but it was well worth it. And then, yeah, man, just getting there and then waking up the next morning, getting to see the views, and then just going out on the walk. Like, too, we were on this incline. So when we
Mm,
go out for the walk in the morning, you'd be going downhill. And if you
mm.
ran, man, like you were just flying, like your hat was flying off. And then that walk back up, that was a challenge because
Yeah.
it was such an incline. So that was awesome in the mornings getting to do that with the brothers. And then we also got to cook in the kitchen. Like Jakuta was in the kitchen. I got to be in there and more people got to help out because
Mm,
Chef Beasley wasn't there this time. So
mm.
that was a cool experience too. Um, and then Ty got to speak, pour into us, did a great seminar about SMART goals. And then EL spoke
Mm.
and did a great job. And then BK, always does his thing, man. So it was special. I'm sure the videos and things will be coming out soon in the pictures. I know RJ's been on it
Yeah,
with all that stuff, man. So
that's
it was a
awesome.
it was really a great experience, all around, through and through, man. We
Yeah.
definitely missed you for
Likewise,
sure.
it's funny. I feel like I threw on my t-shirt from last week, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm there in spirit.
There it is. Heck yeah, man. Absolutely. You definitely were, man. No doubt.
So tell me a little bit about how you grew up. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in the suburbs of New Jersey. So it was down in Haddon Township, Westmont, New Jersey, small town. Our high school went 7 to 12.
Mm,
We had maybe 1,000 kids in the whole school at the time. And then I was fortunate as well because I got to spend, thanks to my grandpa, spend my summers down the shore as well. So growing up, that was, an awesome experience. And thanks to my grandpa, the house I'm in now, it's that same house that he bought back in the 1940s, bought the land. So this is the family legacy. So it's cool to still be here and in that house and get to pass it down to the next generation. So yeah, so
nice.
that's where I grew up. And then, spent some time in Jersey City as well, but mainly the suburbs, man.
Mm. I guess what was life like for you as a kid? What'd you like? What'd you get into?
So as a kid, like from the start, it was a little rough, in a sense. Like I was that nerdy, awkward kid, so I would get picked on and beat up and whatnot on a, regular thing. But what that taught me, was that your imagination, like you can create. So I started, writing stories or um drawing pictures. I was never a great drawer, but
Mm,
just expressing myself, you know what I mean? Doing that. So at a young age, I started writing, and just finding the power that you have in your imagination and how you can, entertain yourself in a
mm,
sense. You know what I mean? Occupy yourself. So I had to switch school. In fourth grade, I switched schools. And then that was, definitely a shift for me. Like, because then like things started getting a little bit better. I started making more friends, getting better socially and whatnot. And then through high school, things were, decent. I played sports, played baseball, basketball, baseball mostly, basketball for like the town leagues and stuff. Um, so, growing up was, pretty regular, pretty normal for the most part. And then when I got into college, that's when, started making more of my own friends outside of my environment and whatnot, and then really started coming to my own after that. But yeah,
gotcha.
man, yes, sir.
Did you choose to stay in the Jersey area or did you move away for college?
So stayed in Jersey area, just went to Camden County College at
Mm,
first. Because I do love Jersey, man. Like through and through. I'm so proud to be from Jersey.
mm,
Um, but yeah, started off there, just couldn't get past, what was it, math three? I kept
mm,
failing like the basic skills where it's X minus Y over like X plus Z to the third, and you had to think of one of the three formulas it could be. So math was never my strong suit. I was always there more with the writing and the words. So
mm.
after I kept failing that and couldn't play baseball anymore, I got into the workforce, and that was the hospitality world. Like started working when I was 12,
Oh wow.
but then really got heavy into it in the college years, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, worked everything in the kitchen. Shoot, I got 3+ decades experience in that world,
Mm,
front end and back end
mhm.
of the house.
That's what's up. So it's like
Yeah, man.
when you were working, was it out of necessity or were you doing it to like go into your talents or
So at first it was a necessity because I didn't know what I wanted to do after high school.
mm,
I didn't really know what I was good at. I knew what I liked to do.
mm,
Um, and I knew like authority, I was not like down for that. So it's like I was working just to make money at this point in a sense. Like, but I was started recording actually
right.
because I wanted to be an artist myself,
Mm,
right? I wanted to be a rapper
yeah.
myself. So I remember, what was it, 2011, I was at Ruby Tuesdays, and
Mm,
my friend asked me, she's like, "What are you trying to do with your life?" And at that point, like I said, I was trying to be an artist. So she's like, nobody ever answers that question honestly.
mm,
So from there, we bonded. And then that kind of changed the trajectory of things
mm,
for me because then the artist side of it went more into the editorial side
mm,
of it. Then I started doing album reviews and inter interviewing artists and doing show recaps and things for like independent artists in New York. So
okay.
yeah, it led me to there.
Got you. So I guess like all the time, this friend that you met, did you guys work over the years or was it like someone you knew in a brief stint?
So yeah, no, we met in 2011 and gone through our ups and downs, but we've been rocking ever since. So yeah, 13 years now. We've been
Mm,
rocking with each other.
yeah, that's what's up.
So yeah, man. Heck yeah,
And
absolutely.
so I mean, since you wanted to writing was your thing and you wanted to go into that lane, did you like write some poems, different things like that? Like how did you get introduced to the people where you start doing work for independent artists and start featuring them and talking to them, things like that?
Work. So good question. And how like that worked. I guess, my love for like writing poems and doing all of that like attracted that type of people and community around me. Like when I linked up with my friend, like
Mhm.
she was an artist herself, so she was a singer
Gotcha.
too. So she had these circles that she ran with. So like I got to be, in some pretty cool circles, like when I was up in Jersey City, like because she was, in and out of New York a lot.
Mhm.
So, I got to be around these people and see, you know, people actually like living out their dreams, doing what they love to do.
Mhm.
And then, um, you know, when I met her in 2011, she also introduced me to my friend Corpus,
Mhm.
who we're still rocking with today. And he's the one that introduced me to Thailand.
Mhm.
He had a whole other community, right, of people that were creatives and whatnot and able to, do what they love to do at a high level and, have success with it. So it's just like, all right, well, this is possible.
Mhm.
But now it's like, all right, well, what does this look like for me?
Right, right.
So then I really started, you know, getting into that world. So from the poems led to like the editorial stuff, like I said, in the interviews and whatnot. And then um that led me to rocking with a media company for a little while. I was an executive editor for a
Mm.
media company. Um, so, then you're getting in these spaces and the circle keeps growing of these people that you're networking and meeting and seeing that are, doing these things that
Mhm.
they love. So it's like I said, I'm still trying to figure it out, like what it is for me at this point. And then, I guess it was what, 2017, I had
Mhm.
to leave Jersey City. And then that again kind of changed the trajectory of things a little bit. But, for, I guess, well, about 5 good years, I got to, be in that world and, just be around all those creative people and just like it inspired me to, in a sense, do what I'm doing now a bit because I was able to see that it's possible, but I had to pivot in 2017, switch tracks a little bit, but yeah,
Gotcha. What, I guess
yeah,
if you don't
man.
mind me asking, what happened in 2017?
Yeah, nah. Something, so I was living up in Jersey City with my best friend at the time, and we went through something that, it's tough to even like explain and see somebody go through,
Mm.
but it's something that happens when like I don't know, your mind in a sense has a little like a breakdown,
Mm.
right? And things happen, and without getting into too much detail, we just had to part ways, right, for a little
Right.
while.
Gotcha.
But we're rocking now stronger than ever.
Mhm.
Um, but that had me move back down here where I'm currently at. Um, and then, I was kind of lost for a little bit.
Mm.
Didn't really know where I was going, and that led me heavy into the self-development space, where I am now. And then, yeah, that helped me to, get the book done. So then the words came back
Mm.
in a sense, you know what I mean? And then it's cool. I've been also, able to, since finished that, been able to finish the book, been able to get creative again and be able to get in the studio and get on the mic and do the audio book. So
Mm.
it's like interesting how things, you know, come back around, because it's like, might not be in the studio as of right now,
Mhm.
recording songs and whatnot, like I wanted to before,
Yeah.
but it's like I still get to be in the studio behind a microphone, like recording, something that I created.
Mm.
So it's a pretty cool feeling, I
Gotcha.
would say. Yeah, man.
That's that's pretty neat. Uh, Before
Thanks, brother.
I guess before you got over that period of 2017 and when you were working with people doing the editing part of it, did you like how did you enjoy that process? Did you ever have like a longing to like, man, I could do this? Or like, is there is there any conflict with people that are so creative? Does everyone kind of do their own thing, or do you see people becoming copies of one another?
Mm, man, that's another good question. Shoot, man. I could say, in a sense, like from being behind the scenes a lot in like
Hmm.
the media world, with the media company and then doing the show stuff, like people definitely try to, copy and mimic what is something that catches fire,
Hmm.
right? So there will be a lot of like imitations, and there's not a lot of authenticity and uniqueness as much anymore in that
Hmm.
world. And it's a shame. Like I think it's gotten watered down so much, um, because I don't know. It's almost like people are like scared to be different a little
Hmm.
bit or be authentic, like, or people don't really know authentically who they are. And then I don't know. It's it's messed up too because they're like what they do in the industry and like some of those stories and rumors you hear, like it's it's true, man. It's a dark place and a dark world. And it's like I am glad to be like out of that, even though I wasn't in, you know, it like mainstream in a sense, but like I said, more behind the scenes, seeing things. But it's just like I'm glad to be away from that
Yeah,
world, because everything's energy, you know what I mean? And that's like the energy. I don't need to be carrying that on with where I'm going. So yeah, I would say definitely see a lot of imitations.
got you. I guess does it pay to
Hmm.
be an original or kind of be unique? Because sometimes it's like you can do your own thing, record it, put it up, or like keep it for yourself. But if you're trying to make a living from it, like, is that a challenging thing where like people are like, I don't know if I want to be myself.
No, nah, it absolutely is a challenging thing. And that's probably one of the hardest parts about it, is staying like true to yourself and uniquely to you. Because it's like, even doing this book, I did the audiobook, right? And I had an idea
Mm,
of I wanted to bring in a sound designer,
mm,
right? To put, make it a, more of an immersive experience.
mm,
And, I told that to some people around me who are in, a similar headspace of the growth mindset and all and whatnot, and they listen to audiobooks and all. And they're like, well, I don't know about that. I never heard that before. Like,
mm.
that might be weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And things, but it's just like, nah, I know what I hear, you know what I mean? Like, I know what I hear in my head. And then, when I made that, put that out in the open,
Mm,
um, I was put on like Carl, who did E.T.'s Secret to Success. They worked on that. He's like, they got somebody to come in and do exactly that, what I wanted to do. So I went and listened to that. And I'm just like, yep, this is it. So I know it's possible,
right.
but it was, definitely would be easier sometimes to kind of go along with the herd in a sense and do what's going to make you popular or whatnot. But it's just, I don't know. To me, it's not worth it, and I don't know, I just have this feeling,
Mm,
Asher, you know what I mean, that it's gonna work out because I'm on this path. Like, I don't know exactly where it's leading, but
mhm.
like every year I've been intentional with what I want to do. It's just the growth has been exponential. The network is getting bigger and whatnot. So the the route of, that way may be quicker.
Mhm.
But I think this one is definitely more worthwhile and way more fulfilling.
Right.
You know, makes it worth the wait, man.
Yeah. I,
Hmm.
I guess what's something that you've gotten out of writing your book and going through this um, audio process journey?
I would say the biggest thing when I finished the book was showing myself that I can complete something.
Mm,
Because before, that was not the case. I was not a finisher. I didn't complete things. I was always starting something and stopping it and then going back to it. But this showed me that, oh no, I can finish things. I can follow through. So yeah, that's what the biggest thing it definitely did for me, because that just, now a year later, the audiobook's almost done.
mm.
And then a year from now, not sure what the next big thing is, but it's going to be, something, whether it's building out the coaching program more, or I do want to release an EP with 3 to 5 tracks of
Okay.
me being artistic. You know what I mean? That's one of the things I got in the clip for later,
Yeah,
down the line for sure. But yeah, man,
that's awesome. I guess you could always record it and choose whenever you choose to record it, so you don't have to wait or delay for when you do it.
very true. I like that. I like that look on it.
I guess
Very true.
what does it feel like when you're in that process, like when you're doing your thing and you're getting it done, you're like, okay, this is what I set
Mm,
out to do. I'm doing it, making it happen, getting through like the hangups, the heartache, the this, that, or the other.
mm. Man, what that feels like is just, I don't know. I guess it's building that self-esteem, right? And that self-confidence, because that's an area, um, I know that I needed to work on. And then once I learned that that really, comes from self, which I mean, it makes sense, right? Self-esteem, self-confidence, but just keeping your word to yourself, seeing you do these tasks that you set out to do on a daily basis and doing it consistently and just, looking back and seeing what I've been able to build,
Mhm.
just in these last couple years as, because if you told me 2 years, 3 years ago, start of 2021, when I got into this space that I would be coaching people now and people would be listening to me, like just like when you met me at the retreat, you were like, man, you're a coach,
Mhm.
like you're more than what you say with the restaurant stuff and whatnot. And I never really thought about it, even though I was doing it.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I would say that definitely the completion thing, man, is huge because it's led to everything else.
Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
man, it's pretty cool. So what's 2024 been like for you? Or were you gonna say
20,
something else? Sorry.
no, no, I was just thinking, reflecting, man. 2024 has been a good one, for sure. Um, it was the so in June, it was the end of June, a chapter ended
Mm.
in a sense. The ETA, ETU chapter, Breed University chapter came to an end for myself. So, started there as a student,
Mhm.
became a coach or became a lead
Mhm.
in a sense, and then from there, I was just sharpened for months and years by these people around me, and yeah, became a coach myself. So that's been a cool thing going from doing something for free now
Mhm.
getting paid to do it. And then the whole audiobook experience has been super cool because the Fugees,
Mhm.
right? So the studio that I recording in, the same microphone in that same booth Praz recorded
Oh
there.
wow.
Yeah, and they did an episode of The Simpsons in there. So it's just, just being in that same space that those people were in before, is a cool thing, I feel. And then trying to think what else, man. Just doing and starting this coaching thing has been so fulfilling. Like seeing people achieving goals they wanted to or doing more than they thought was possible for themselves, and getting people to like shift in their mindset. It's really fulfilling work. So man, I'm super grateful for that. And then the retreat we just had, right? So now fourth quarter,
Mhm.
the focus is now getting gigs on Audible,
Mm.
because now that I went through that process with myself doing the narration work for my book now, hopefully I can have that lead to doing narration work for other people's books,
Mm.
and whatnot, so just been auditioning in there and yeah, like I said, on the mountain, just being up there with the fellas was an awesome experience. And they said it, man, though, when you come down from the mountain, and that's when things can start getting a little
Mhm.
bit heavy, or the enemy can come at you a little bit more because
Yeah.
he just knows, after that, having such a powerful experience up there, you know what I mean? So I think it's been like that for a couple of us, but man, we getting through it, and man, we are here and better than we were a year before, man. So I would say 2024 has definitely been a good one for sure, man.
That's awesome. And I guess to that point, you bring up a good point. What's life? I guess how's your week a week after the retreat?
So uh I guess we started coming at me pretty much that Sunday. So one of the brothers misplaced their keys. So we're
Mhm.
all helping look for the keys, right? So BK's like, go check the room one more time. So I go in there, flip over the bed, the one side, the mattress, go around the other side, pick up the mattress and
Mhm.
tweak my back.
Ooh.
Just something so little, right? So go try and stretch it out, whatnot, all right, this is not, it's not awful, but it's not great. But now I gotta, sit for a few hours to get to the airport.
Mm,
Um, so get to the airport and bring up my app on my phone, and the Southwest says I gotta go see the front desk. All right,
mm,
so I go see the front desk, and it is on me because I didn't know it was a thing. But when I flew from Philly, I went to Atlanta, right?
mm,
And from Atlanta, I was going to go to Nashville, but nobody could pick me up in Nashville.
mm,
So Brian picked me up, and I went with him and Lawrence. He picked me up in Atlanta at the airport. So we
mm.
drove to
Gotcha.
Nashville. So I never got on that flight.
Mm.
Since I never got on that flight, Southwest said I was a no-show and they canceled my return flight.
No.
Oh, so it's like my back is a little tweaked. I'm like, they canceled my flight. Talk to the person there. Let's kind of speak to a manager, talk to them. Nobody's any help. They're like, you have to go online to file. So I'm in the process of that now with them. And dude's like, you might have to fly home with another airline, right? Because they
Mm.
didn't have a flight leaving that night or the next day, Southwest to
Oh,
Philly,
right.
direct or not direct. So go to American Airlines, got to buy a new ticket. They have a flight that goes from Nashville to Miami and then
Mm.
Miami to Philly
Jeez.
at 5:28 in the morning. So I'm like, whatever, let me take it because I just want to get home. I want to get out of here.
Mm.
So, man, spend the night in the airport, definitely uncomfortable. Um, but it was interesting because one of the brothers, I called him and told him what was going on. He's like, ask God why you're delayed.
Mm.
I was like, all right, okay. I get it. I will. So asked him that question, and I ended up, um, I met this kid who's like really good with social media and whatnot. So like
Mm.
we were able to exchange information, and he might be able to help me down the line. But that could have been one of the reasons why I was delayed. But
Mm.
man, that was just a trying time. Like I'm just midnight, just praying, like, God, just get me through this, get me home, get me on these flights, and just get me back to my bed.
Right.
Um, but man, he did it. God is great. He got me through it. We got home, but it was since then it's been a little struggle. So mobility wasn't great for this week. Today is the first day that I can actually, I'm not walking sideways a little bit.
Mm.
So grateful for that, man. So yeah, but that was my week after the mountain, recouping,
Gotcha.
recouping and keeping my feet up a little bit. Yeah, man, get my back right.
Did you guys ever find the keys?
Did not find the keys, but what happened was like somebody, I don't like came out. I don't know how I don't know how it worked, but he was able to drive home and you know, with his son. So it all worked out. I don't know how exactly, but technology is
Yeah.
crazy nowadays, sir. So man,
Cool.
yeah. Yep. He's not still up there.
Yeah. Man. I guess it is interesting. It's like that things come up that you don't really account for, and then you have to deal with them in a sense because it's like you could I guess you could have said that could have probably ruined your trip to just be like, man, I came out here, had this great time, and then it's like, this is what I'm going back home to. Like I've got to deal with this
Mhm.
and that and this, but it seems like you chose to put your attention elsewhere and kind of try to see, okay, how do I overcome this and not just get stuck behind like the woe is me, like forget the world, I hate this, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm just like I'm livid.
Oh yeah. No, I definitely felt that a little bit, but was not expressing it like because he had been so frustrated and whatnot. But then you focus on that kind of stuff, and that's like the energy just goes there, and it's not worth it. Because I used to be that way,
Mm,
definitely used to be a bit more pessimistic, always open-minded and whatnot. But you realize, man, living in that space not doing you any good. And there's
right.
always something good that comes out of everything,
Gotcha.
you know.
And what's your book called? And I know we hadn't really touched on it.
No, no worries here. So it is called Farang in the Land of Smiles. I can even put it. So that's the book, Farang in the Land of Smiles. You can, get it from me directly.
Mhm.
Reach out to me, or it's on Amazon. You can get it from the audio book will be out within the next couple weeks. Just have one last little piece to record for the outro for that, and then that will be done. So I'm gonna say within the next 2 weeks that should be out there circulating. The plan is to get it out. Uh, I know there's not much time for a pre-sale right now,
Mhm.
but to get it out the 1 year anniversary of the book.
Mhm.
So it will be the day before Thanksgiving. So that Wednesday, biggest party night of the year,
Yeah.
celebrate with me. So that's the goal. I will keep you posted though, keep you updated.
Awesome. And what's the book about? What should someone possibly get from it?
So what it is about is really my experiences traveling to Thailand. I've been there 3 times,
Mhm.
have friends out there that are all musicians, artists, and DJs. So talk about the lessons that I learned, some of the wild, crazy sights and adventures I've been on out
Mhm.
there. It's broken up into 3 different trips, and there's excuse me, also, other stuff in there, a little bit of um, just, pardon me,
Mhm.
yeah, a little bit of the, inspiring stuff like speaking life into you and whatnot, because I'm a big believer of life is experience. So as I shed light on stuff like that and your mindset, but really it's just like a fun travel memoir type of thing, with some lessons in there too.
I like it. I think, well, I guess like how would you describe Thailand for anyone that's not familiar?
So Thailand is a tropical environment with, especially Bangkok. It's got inner city fields to it. It's got New York type of energy.
Mm.
Um, People are super friendly. They call it the land of smiles for a reason.
Mm.
People are just so down to earth, friendly. It's way more Americanized than I thought it would be,
Mm.
which was cool. You can get by without speaking Thai. Helping, learn a few phrases doesn't hurt, you know what I mean? And they always appreciate it
Right.
as well. But man, that's just a place where you can go and you actually feel free because you're not worried about the cost of living.
Mm.
You can stay in a hotel for $140 a week. You can eat food on the street for $1.50 to $3. Good food too, healthy food, um, delicious food. And then it's just a place where at night it never sleeps. It
Mm.
is always on. Like you thought New York never slept. Thailand, Bangkok, man, a place never ever sleeps. Just taxi cabs going, motorbikes all over the place. And it's so alive. Like it's just such an alive place. And first time I went to my so friend of mine has a couple of barber shops out there. So in the chair getting a cut, and the guy sitting next to me, we started talking. He said came out there from California 7 years ago, and he's never left.
Mm.
So Thailand is like that. I fell in love
Yeah.
the first time. It's just one of those places, man. Like Corp always said to me, he's like, I could talk to you till I'm blue in the face about it, but
Yeah.
until you get out there and experience it. And yeah, man, it's definitely true, man. But definitely a special place. I recommend everybody check it out at least once.
Yeah. I'm guessing your book probably gives them a more vivid and more detailed experience of what it is, what they could look forward to.
Yeah, I think so because I throw some pictures in there too.
I
Um,
like that.
so you get to see some of the food, some of the places. Um, yeah, definitely go into more detail about, some of the stuff that we were doing and the what I was seeing. Um, so yeah.
That's awesome. It's funny when I think about the arts and you talk about poetry, whether it be rap or spoken words, different things
Mm,
like that. Something it always kind of ties in together for me is either like people that beatbox, people that break dance and things like that. And watching some clips online where you see people come together and they're so intricate with their lock popping and stepping, and it's like, man, okay, like it's just someone's like in that flow state and they're not really thinking about like, I mean, I'm sure they're thinking, they may be counting, but it just seems like they've practiced this thing over and over and over, and you just see someone just in it, and it's like a, a good freedom just see on display.
mm. Oh, heck yeah, it is. It's like one of the coolest things to see like artists in their element like that. And it's cool because there's so many different lanes for art. But yeah, like I wish I could dance like some of these dudes. You know what I mean? Like I used to love watching, oh, I forget, like MTV had that show where like dance war or something, but it was like, the Jabberwockies were on there, and then it was like a
Oh
bunch
yeah,
of other
yeah,
people, but like that pop lock and stuff where people can like, just move their body all kinds of crazy ways, man. It's just, yeah. And that is true. Like that flow state, though, like that's how athletes get in,
mm,
so I'm sure it's something similar to that,
right,
where it's almost like that out of body experience where it's like because you've done it so many times.
right.
But man, yeah, it's awesome to watch people working in their gifts for sure.
Did you ever feel anything like that when you were editing or when you were working around other artists, like when you're helping them along or you're doing your thing before you got to recording and creating back for yourself?
Hmm. It's a good question. I gotta think because I got to see a couple experiences. I guess yeah, one of the first times seeing that was the first time going to Thailand, um, because I got to see my boy perform for the first time,
Mm,
and I never got to see him do that. It was like I heard him a bunch, and we'd be in the shed practicing and doing things, but
mm,
I never got to see him do what he does in front of people, and like so that was real cool experience. And then um, I've gotten to be in the studio as well with some pretty cool artists, and that's just been neat because you know a lot of artists even don't like the studio, like
mm,
being in there for like hours or whatever it is at a time. But like that's one of my favorite things, like being in the studio with an artist while they're doing their thing. Um, so I've had a lot of those experiences, and then another time in Thailand was cool. I remember we were recording a hook for this one song, and um, so it was like four of us all in this little home studio,
mm.
um, and just seeing how everybody was like feeding off each other to get done what they had to get done was really cool experience. Um, so yeah, hopefully that answers that
Yeah,
question there.
it does.
Or
And
cool, man.
I guess as you're looking to, as we're looking into the holidays, like you said, you got the book coming out and the New Year's right around the corner. What I'm sure you may have gotten this question on the mountain, but I guess I'll phrase it this way. What's something you're looking to leave in 2024?
So something I am leaving up there on the mountain and leaving behind in 24 is my just ignorant spending habits
What do you,
and getting familiar with a budget and knocking this debt out
okay.
because it's time. I got enough I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
I just need to get this debt knocked out so I can get the credit up because, you know, to build out the business, it's all right. we got to find out how we getting these ends coming in. So let's knock out what we owe to
Mm,
people and our debtors. Let's get that cleaned up. Let's get on a plan with people that know that space, and let's put a plan together and do that. So yes, that is what I'm leaving behind. My bad spending habits and poor financial planning for better spending habits and learning my budget and getting my financial IQ up a little bit higher.
I like it. And for anyone that
Word.
might want to help you or look into what it is that you're doing online and offline with the book, with the audio and everything else that's tied to Commish or James, how would they find you?
So y'all can find me at on Instagram and Facebook at Commish's Corners. Also on Instagram, I have another one. It's Da Commish, so it's DACOMMISH, and then Commish's Corners is all one word on both that and Facebook. TikTok is the same as well. I just switched it up over there, so Commish's Corners over there as well. And yeah, website will be coming soon. Commishscorner.com is on the way.
I like it. And what's
Yeah,
Commish?
man.
Is that short for something?
Yeah. So the origin story is so back in 2011 when so after I met my friend at Ruby Tuesday, she introduced me to Corpus.
Mm,
So Corpus wanted to put me on to Thailand and all. So he big into comic books.
mm,
Favorite hero is Batman.
mm.
So in Batman, James Gordon is Batman's right hand man. My name's James.
Right.
I was basically his right hand man. So if you're familiar with Batman, James Gordon was the police commissioner. So
Mm,
the commish. So it was
mm.
commission Batman, and it
Gotcha.
worked out that way. I was his
That's
right
what's up.
hand for a while. Yep, and it
I
just
like it.
stuck. Yeah, man.
I like it. And from the
Word.
first question I asked you, are you still who you said you were?
Mm. I am a different version of that because Kamish before was a super people pleaser and just spread myself out way too thin and was given to everybody, but not given to myself or getting much back in return. So in this season, I have become a bit more of James in a sense. He's just I guess in a sense, a more mature version of Commish, But this is Commish, Commish is still that, you know what I mean? That's still me. But I guess James is that the inner voice in a sense telling me it's time to start growing up a little bit and look out for you instead of everybody else so much because yeah, if we can't give to ourselves and you know, treat us properly, we're not going to be able to give to others and treat the others around us how they should be treated either.
Awesome. Thank you.
No doubt, man. Thank you. This has been fun.
You're very welcome. Until next time.
Yes, sir. Later, my brother.
See you.